basketball game.
The sun is setting on the land of enchantment, and in stark contrast to the quiet of the New Mexico evening awaits an arena bursting with energy.
Championship game between Houston and North Carolina State is about to begin, and Houston and its fans are confident that this is finally their championship season, and the Cougars have the force on their side. Attempting to keep the championship in the ACC, and Jim Valvano's Cardiac Kids won the West in dramatic fashion.
Trying to pull another one out. Dereck Whittenburg. This is outside. Thurl Bailey rebounds. Bailey again. Foul call. NC State lead. 7 seconds on the clock. Tim Mullen. This is the shot. The rebound. Wilson inside. Loose ball. It's over. NC State wins.
And the hopes and dreams of these two marvelous teams are now ready for the sports final act. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger, and welcome to the championship game in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It is Houston against North Carolina State, and what a contrast the two coaches present. We've got Jim Valvano, the fast-talking street kid out of Brooklyn, who has led State to the brink of a championship. Then there is 61-year-old gentlemanly Guy Lewis of Houston. Here's how the two match up verbally.
On the offensive end for us, we've got to control tempo. We've got to take good shots. We've got to make sure the game is not in the 80s and 90s. It's got to be more in the 50s.
I think he will slow it down. On the other hand, we'll try to speed it up a little bit. It'll be a battle of the tempos, whether it's slow tempo or fast tempo. But I'd say the odds in his favor as far as the tempo, because it's easier to slow it down than it is to pick it up.
It's not the kind of club that we can come back on. You know, if they get up, fans, if you're watching and we're down like, 14-2, it's going to be really difficult for our team.
I'd rather they'd get behind very quickly and stay behind the entire ball game.
We've been an outside shooting team all year. We've lived and died with the jump shot. I don't think all of a sudden I'm going to say, fellas, I got a great idea. Let's throw it inside all night.
We'll try to put a little pressure on the ball. We'll try to contain their good scores, and we'll try to move them up and down the floor.
Hopefully we can draw some fouls, because we need them to get foul trouble, to be honest with you.
Key is to get rebounds. Usually the team that wins a rebound in war wins the game. We have one more slogan, though, that we add to that. The team with the most dunks wins the game.
We're so close to having a game which could go, blowout city.
We may be from the country, but we're not easily conned.
The keys to this game are varied and many, and let's go to the two men who are going to call the action, Gary Bender and Billy Packer. Gary?
Thank you, Brett. North Carolina State. Jim Valvano said, I believe in dreams. He feels they're a team of destiny. They've won 9 in a row. The last NCAA championship year, 1974. Two principal players in this game, Dereck Whittenburg and Thurl Bailey. Dereck Whittenburg had a brilliant game the first time out, 20 points.
Well, Dereck on the offensive end of the court, Gary, probably has a bigger arsenal that he can beat you with than anybody in college ball. He's got the 30-foot jumper as well as the power game inside. And for a man his size, he can go inside.
Speaking of size, Thurl Bailey at 6'11". He's got to combat that front line of Houston.
Well, Thurl can do it on the defensive end and on the boards. And one big advantage he has playing against a team like Houston, he can go outside and make the perimeter shot.
We heard the coaches talk about tempo. Obviously, North Carolina State cannot get in a run and dunk contest.
Well, they really can, and Jim Valvano said his fraternity is Kai slow the ball. I don't know if that'll be the case tonight. I don't think we'll see an all-out delay game, Gary, but I do think that they will play a slow-tempo ball game.
Houston's won 26 in a row. They're #1. They have never won an NCAA championship. Let's look first at Clyde the Glide Drexler. 21 points and 7 rebounds in the semifinal.
Well, Gary, we made the comment in the great game that was played up in Syracuse this year that this is probably college basketball's finest all-around athlete, and I think he's proved that in the NCAA playoff.
And then there's 7-foot Akeem Abdul-Olajuwon. He had 8 blocks in the semifinal game.
And what's so incredible about him is his timing has improved, as you see right there. If you get by Young, Drexler, and Mishaw, there is Olajuwon waiting there, and he has great shot-blocking abilities.
And so now the stage being set. Let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Gary and Billy, and again, Jim Valvano on the right. He has a team in the Final Four for the first time. Guy Lewis of Houston on the left. This is his 4th trip. He has never won the championship. We are ready for basketball's greatest spectacle.
CBS Sports presents the NCAA Basketball Championship game. Tonight's game is sponsored by the 1983 Honda motorcycle, engineered performance for over 20 years. Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts.
This Bud's for all the guys who keep the action from getting out of hand.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
I'm Mr. Goodwrench, and I can get your GM car or truck back on the road fast, even if it needs an engine or transmission. Look, a brand new GM Goodwrench replacement engine, not a rebuild. And a GM Goodwrench transmission that's reconditioned to tough GM standards. So before you go to the extra time and expense of rebuilding, check out my GM Goodwrench engines and transmissions.
Keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Honda introduces the Red Line Super Sale. Now, while they last, you can buy the Honda you thought was gone at a price you may never see again. Brand new Hondas, equipped with brand new prices. You can get one now, but hurry. With deals like these, it won't be long before they disappear.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to University Arena for tonight's 1983 NCAA National Championship game between the Wolfpack of North Carolina State and the Cougars of the University of Houston. Now, let's meet the starting lineups. For North Carolina State at forward, a 6'11 senior from Seat Pleasant, Maryland, number 41, Thurl Bailey. For Houston at forward, a 6'7 junior from Houston, Texas, number 22, Clyde Drexler. For North Carolina State at forward, a 6'7 sophomore from Brooklyn, New York, number 43, Lorenzo Charles. For Houston at forward, a 6'9 senior from Houston, Texas, number 40, Larry Mishaw. For North Carolina State at center, a 6'11 sophomore from Bennettsville, South Carolina, number 45, Roselle McQueen. For Houston at center, a 7-foot sophomore from Lagos, Nigeria, number 34, Akeem Abdul-Olajuwon. For North Carolina State at guard, a 6'1 senior from Glenarden, Maryland, number 25, Dereck Whittenburg. For Houston at guard, a 6'2 freshman from Lamarck, Texas, number 20, Alvin Franklin. For North Carolina State at guard, a 6-foot senior from Washington, D.C., number 35, Sidney Lowe. For Houston at guard, a 6'6 junior from Houston, Texas, number 42, Michael Young. And introducing the head coaches. For North Carolina State, in his 12th season, Jim Valvano. For Houston, in his 27th season, Guy Lewis.
When a business grows, it often grows out of control. Simple procedures become gigantic problems. Things like billing, filing, and shipping become too big to handle the old way. Why not get one of IBM's low-cost small computers like DataMaster? It puts you back in control, and it can grow.
Here's to a great future.
As your business grows.
While most of the automotive world was still learning to understand the diesel, this Mercedes-Benz diesel was hitting 200 miles an hour. This Mercedes diesel was hitting 3,000 miles per gallon. And this Mercedes diesel was hitting 1 million miles after just 11 years. Today, the automotive world has learned at last to understand the diesel. Mercedes-Benz has mastered it.
Houston with a 31-2 record. North Carolina State 25-10. The officials chosen for tonight's championship game: Hank Nichols of the ACC and Big East, Paul Hausman of the ACC, and Joe Forte of the ACC Metro. North Carolina State with 3 seniors in the starting lineup. On the other hand, Houston has only 1 starting senior, that being Larry Mishaw, 6'9". Here's how they got here. North Carolina State, 6 of 7 games had to come from behind to win. Houston, on the other hand, very impressive wins. They had a slow-down game with Maryland. We're ready to go. Elijah controls a tip, but coming up with it is Whittenburg for North Carolina State.
Smart rotation by Dereck Whittenburg, but Thurl Bailey stayed up there pretty good with Elijah.
A team who had 22 rebounds in that win over Louisville has his first of the night. Here's Drexler off to Larry Mishaw, who fouled out in the first game. Rebound, Thurl Bailey.
Shot altered by Cozell McQueen, and we can see right off the bat, Gary, we're not going to have a total delay game. That shot put up there early by Thurl Bailey eliminates that idea.
Thurl Bailey, rebound, Cozell McQueen. He had 13, a seasonal high in the win over Georgia. Outside is Lowe Bailey.
Now that's got to shock a lot of people. NC State going right at him, maybe personifying the type of attitude that a Jim Valvano would have. He's the kind of guy that likes to come at you.
Alvin Franklin, who's played so well in tournament play. He's had only 22 turnovers since becoming the starter on this team. Larry Mishaw, he walked with the ball. Larry Mishaw, who fouled out with 13:28 to go in the game against Louisville. Everybody thought it was over when he left, but Benny Anders came in and they pumped the lead and went on to win it.
Straight man-to-man, and you've got Drexler and Lorenzo Charles. So Young and Franklin playing Whittenburg. That's going to be a key matchup. I thought they might go Drexler on Whittenburg. Maybe they're going to save him a while.
Whittenburg uses the pick. Rebound is Lorenzo Charles, and they have a 4-0 lead.
Great job out there by Elijah coming out off the pick on the switch, but it didn't stop NC State. Now let's look at the State defense. Very unusual looking defense.
Michael Young. Akeem tries to follow. Bailey comes down with it. And we have a foul going on Mishaw, and everything is going right for Jim Valvano.
Look at Jimmy Valvano. He's running up to the half court. He's really got his guys fired up to play this game. Now, NC State's playing a little Chinese defense right here. Maybe a triangle in 2, or a diamond in 1. We've got to watch it the next time down the floor with Whittenburg on Young.
Jim Valvano said if we'd get the opening tip, we might not shoot till Tuesday, but he certainly put that to rest. Here is Bailey. 6-0, the Wolfpack.
This has to shake up Houston a little bit because everybody around town talked about a delay game, but that's not the case.
Alvin Franklin, a reach in by Sidney Lowe. And it's going to be picked up by Whittenburg.
What a smart play. He advanced it to the front court.
Tough shot. Whittenburg rebounds it. He took it away from Michael Young. Out to Bailey. And Akeem has another rebound.
You'd have to think maybe State with 3 men down the other end of the floor would have been wise to pull that one back out. Now watch this defense. You've got Whittenburg playing man-to-man on Young. The other 4 guys are playing zone.
Hakeem moving inside, and a foul is going to go on Lowe, reaching in as he crossed up the middle.
It's a very interesting idea by Jim Valvano. 4 fellas playing zone, 1 playing man-to-man. And the guy they're playing man-to-man on is Young, their leading scorer, but on the other hand, the guy that usually plays better in the second half than the first.
This is the man that was the most valuable player in the Midwest Regional. And what a first game he had. 21 points, 22 rebounds, and 8 block shots. He gets Houston on the board.
Mishaw stepped in beautifully there.
That may be offensive interference. I believe it is. Yes, it is. Mishaw up above the cylinder, so they'll take it out on the side.
He showed some power, though, stepping in off that foul shot. Very powerful young man.
The DeMatha High School twins, Whittenburg and Lowe, bring it up. Cozell McQueen, he's got to have a big game tonight for North Carolina State. Look at this move. Rebound, and it's taken out by Clyde Drexler.
Great help by Drexler.
Clyde Drexler, you can see why they call him the Glide. He just glided through the air that time.
McQueen made a fine move, but Drexler's tremendous defensive switching ability came over to alter it, and then he showed what he can do on that hanging jump shot.
We have played 3 minutes in this game. NC State leads it 6-3.
Drexler also shown his versatility on defense. He's guarding a power man today. Sometimes he takes a guard.
Sidney Lowe, Young has about 5 inches on him.
State's got to get Whittenburg in a shooting position. Franklin playing way out on him now. Probably going to need some solid screens.
Lorenzo Charles, Drexler reaches in, and he got a piece of it. Drexler committing the foul. Drexler, 3rd in the nation this year in steals, and it's just those kind of plays he usually pulls off.
Well, one of the things he'll find out early, and he'll make the adjustment, is Lorenzo Charles has a tremendous upper body and a lot of strength in those hands. So where he might normally get the steal on just a flick of the wrist, he can't take it away from Charles that way.
Second team foul now against Houston. Wait a minute, we have a stoppage of play. The officials checking with the scoring table. Guy Lewis with 61 years of age. Wanted to be sure, I guess, who the foul was on. It was Drexler. You know, we had a little difficulty with him in the Midwest Regional. He had 6 fouls before he fouled out. So they're going to ascertain for sure who it was, and it was Clyde.
Lorenzo Charles sitting down there on Drexler, trying to go inside. Whittenburg so far has been handled by Franklin one-on-one.
Lorenzo Charles rejected. That's 36 blocks in the last 5 games for this Houston team. Alvin Franklin, air ball, Whittenburg.
Drexler's chasing him.
Nice pass to Lowe. He overshot it, and Hakeem with another rebound.
I think State ought to be a little wiser on the fast break. You can't get in a running game with Houston like this.
And they are. Nishaw converts it the other end.
Now, State's got to be a little bit more protective. Even when you have the fast break, you cannot beat Houston in a 90-foot game.
So after a 6-0 lead, it's now a 6-5 game.
Whittenburg's been stymied a little bit by Franklin playing out on him. Let's see if State tries to get the ball to Whittenburg and get some solid screens for him.
North Carolina State now has missed their last 5 shots.
Franklin, mighty tough for a freshman. He's got powerful legs. He can stay right with Whittenburg.
Whittenburg, baseline to Charles. Rebound, Drexler.
Intimidated by Olajuwon.
Michael Young. He starts slowly. He's done that every game. He's missed 2 here in this game. Now he gives the Cougars a lead.
Gary, it's a tough thing for a coach to do, to take away the fast break for his team. And Jim Valvano wants his club to be very positive in their actions, but he's got to slow it down a little bit unless they have an uncontested layup.
Thurl Bailey, the all-ACC pick, brings it out to Whittenburg. He's been averaging 21.5 points in NCAA tourney play. Franklin on him. Charles keeps it in. Lorenzo Charles saved it somehow. Out to Baylor.
Lowe's got a tough job with a man like Young on him. He's got so much size.
That's the range of Whittenburg. Olajuwon with yet another rebound, and he's going to have a handful again. He has 4 already. Mishaw. No, and that may be offensive interference. It is. They will not allow the basket.
If Olajuwon had let that ball alone on there, I believe it would have gone in. But Guy Lewis will never take away his aggressive action. You'll see it right here. Mishaw puts it up. The ball is in the cylinder, and here comes Drexler and Olajuwon, and they get a piece of it while it's up above the cylinder.
As you can see, Houston loves to play above the rim.
There's a time in life for the young to say, I want something else, a different way. The town's the same, the people too. School is over, need something to do. The services have it, it'll really show. You'll see new places, you'll really grow in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Challenge, adventure, excitement too, a time to enjoy and see something new. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll work hard, feel really free, serving your country for all to see in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Be part of a team, be friends forever. A part of the services you won't forget ever. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Presenting 3 cars you can actually fall in love with. Dodge Shelby Charger. Your heart will beat faster for $82.90. Dodge 600 ES, a high-tech sports sedan at $93.72. Dodge 400 convertible for just $99.95. We'll give you the sun. We've also got a way to protect something you love. Dodge's 550 protection plan. A little love and something to protect it at your Dodge dealer.
Get up to $1,000 back on new Dodge cars and trucks or 11.9 financing. Participating dealers have details.
It's Palmer and Saracen and Nicholas and Hogan, a tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
Welcome back to the pit in Albuquerque. A national championship game. Houston, after trailing 6-0, has taken a 7-6 lead. Jim Valvano with a 10-year contract in his hip pocket. And Guy Lewis, his 27th year as the coach of the Houston Cougars, trying to win his first NCAA championship.
First substitution in here. Battle has taken Lorenzo Charles' place. You notice that they won't go out and play Cozell McQueen 18, 19 feet from the basket. Olajuwon stays in right under the basket.
North Carolina State now has gone over 4 minutes without scoring after opening up with that 6-0 lead. They're shooting only 20%. Thurl Bailey. Rebound, Mishaw.
Fine defense by Mishaw. They've scouted Bailey well.
Drexler. Rebound, Battle, who's just checked in. Alvin Battle, a junior, at 6'7" with the rebound. Battle coming in for Lorenzo Charles. His first change for Valvano, and here he shoots one.
Putting the ball up much too fast, Gary. They've got to be much more patient than that.
Drexler into Mishaw. Mishaw, the big muscle man inside. Akeem. Bailey tries to follow over the back of Mishaw. It's out of bounds, and it's going to go to North Carolina State.
NC State got great play out of Cozell McQueen to beat Georgia, and he's playing a fine game already tonight.
Billy, it's amazing to me how they started out 6-0, and now North Carolina State has missed 10 in a row.
Well, I think they've lost an awful lot of their composure. Maybe those baskets came a little bit too easily for them, Gary.
There you see the shooting percentage.
Here's a clear out for Whittenburg. But look at Franklin staying right with him.
Here's Battle. He's challenging him. Bringing in another foul on Drexler. That would be his second.
Great call by the official saying the ball was on the way up. Gave a proper signal right off the bat.
Now Drexler got into foul difficulty in the Midwest Regional.
Now watch. Battle's kind of spread out. You see how far apart his feet were when he made that jump shot? He didn't have good balance at all. But he got fouled on the way up. But a good call by the official in disallowing any goaltending.
Battle is out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. He was a California Junior College Player of the Year last year at Merced College. And he hits a free throw. He's come in here playing with some confidence.
Rocky Mount has put out a lot of fellas.
Phil Ford one.
Phil Ford is one, and Buck Williams another from that small town in eastern North Carolina.
They're all tied up, and now the Wolfpack leads by 1. 13:03 to go. First half.
Now let's check out this defense again. Whittenburg on Young. The 4 other state players are playing a diamond zone.
Michael Young, rebound inside to Cozell McQueen. Boy, has he played so well in this tournament. That's what they need, is a play from McQueen, Battle, and Charles. That's not a shot. Oh! I'll bet Jim Valvano said no, and then saw it go in.
I think state shot selection's been very boring, and so far of all of them, that might have been one least expected to go in.
Well, when you're playing well, put them up. 10-7, North Carolina State. Franklin, there's Lowe reaching in on him. Freshman having a tough time. And there's a steal by Drexler, but it's off to Drexler.
And Drexler got away with a foul there because he really ran Sidney Lowe from behind. But you can't afford to throw that long pass against Houston. Drexler just covers too much ground.
Drexler, for his career, believe it or not, has over 200 steals. Ready to go now. What?
Yeah, no, he's just a junior. Everybody thinks he's a senior.
10-7. The Wolfpack still with that lead.
I think the Wolfpack have got to figure out a way to get Dereck Whittenburg the ball in offensive shooting range. And Jim Valvano really upset with Battle. He wants him to get to their offense.
The Battle travels with it. And so we're going to have a timeout with 12 to go. Guy Lewis, last year, he lost in the semifinal. This year, he's to the championship game.
To run the Hat of the Month Club in a business-like way, the boss has to keep the books, organize the files, write the letters, be creative, and still keep on top of things. The boss could bring home a tool for modern times, the IBM personal computer. It can help the business person wear many hats and sell even more. The IBM personal computer. Try one on at a store near you.
Experience the best-selling two-seat sports car in America. Experience the performance of the 1983 Mazda RX-7. Experience the stability of anti-sway bars front and rear. 0 to 50 in 6.3 seconds and efficient aerodynamics. RX-7, one of the world's great driving experiences. And one of the world's great sports car values. The more you look, the more you like the Mazda experience.
Here's a play that NC State will have a hard time making tonight, and the fact that Drexler covers so much ground. Now, he came over. I said he committed the foul right there on Lowe, and we didn't think it was a foul at the time, but we're checking with the scorers table. If it was a foul, that'll be Drexler's third foul.
Only 4 team fouls against Houston. Drexler has 3. At the conclusion of today's NCAA championship game, Billy Packer and I will select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team.
State comes out in a half-court trap.
Denny Anders, who just checked in, puts one up. Rebound McQueen, but he threw it away.
And Jim Valvano is livid. He has to get his players to realize they're not going to get that semi-fast break.
We have a confirmation that was the 3rd foul on Drexler. So that play that we thought was a foul, in fact, was. Here's Anders. Trying to put it away, and Battle has committed the foul.
Now, Gary, I want to point something out here. You remember, and you made mention of it, Drexler had 6 fouls in one game here in the regionals, that one being Memphis State. Now, the other thing was in the game on Saturday, Guy Lewis and his assistants did not realize that Mishaw had 4 fouls on him when he did in the game. I don't think that bench realizes Drexler has 3 fouls on him right now.
We had the benefit of a replay to show us. Here's Anders, who was sensational in that semifinal game. He had 13 points coming in when Mishaw fouled out. From Bernice, Louisiana, he is a very exciting basketball player. He can cut the lead to 1.
Oh, good job by a team coming down the lane, didn't get the tap. Can you imagine nobody blocking him out?
So again, we'll confirm. Clyde Drexler with 3 fouls in the game. Here's Battle. Akeem with the block. Benny Anders.
Good hustle by Bailey.
That was a reach in by McQueen, and then he comes up with a foul. He fouls Olajuwon. That's his first.
Olajuwon down at the other end of the floor had actually been taken off his feet. You'll see it right here. Charles gets it, makes a great pump fake here, gets Olajuwon in the air, but Olajuwon blocks it on the way down and then heads at the other end of the floor. Look at the great speed by the big man right here. He hustles down the floor as well as any big man that's ever played the game.
As an end result, he ends up with the free throw line with a couple of shots by that hustling effort that you pointed out. He has 1 point, but 6 rebounds already, Billy, and 2 blocks.
Well, last year in the final game, we saw Patrick Ewing, who I think moves from offense to defense and vice versa as well as anybody that ever played. And evidently, Olajuwon has watched Patrick play because he's doing the same thing. Here we have a half-court zone trap now by Houston.
A 1-point lead for North Carolina State. McQueen, bad pass, Young, but saved somehow by Whittenburg. Nice effort. Here's Thurl Bailey.
That's his shot down there, but Thurl hadn't been able to hit it.
7 rebounds now for the 7-footer from Nigeria. Reed Geddes has checked into the ball game. So Geddes and Anders have come off of a very deep Houston bench.
But Drexler's still out there. They should have tried to draw the charge there. They could have got 4 on him.
Sidney Lowe spots Whittenburg. Whittenburg, the long-range bomber.
And maybe the first sign of fatigue. Cozell McQueen and Lorenzo Charles did not head down the court that time. you've got McQueen bending over. Now, I think the altitude will start showing its effect.
We're playing at 5,200 feet. The altitude very evident in the semifinal round. Here is Anders. Rebound, Olajuwon.
Not a good shot.
Young saves it into Anders. They just keep hammering away at you. And we have a foul.
That was worth the block for NC State because Olajuwon had the dunk right there. Now, here are 5 attempts at the basket. Olajuwon puts it up. Young does a great job saving it back in. Anders goes up, hits it over the board. Here comes Olajuwon back in, goes up and gets fouled. And was that on Cozell McQueen?
It would be his second personal. It is. Terry Gannon, 24, has come in. An excellent outside shooter.
And Gary, in the half-court trap that Houston showed the last time down, they have such a big team on the floor that Gannon may have a hard time passing the ball over that trap.
Houston not a good free throw shooting team, but they get a couple to go down there, and they now trail by 1, 12-11.
And Houston stays in the trap. Now watch, Drexler's in the middle. He covers so much ground. It's very difficult to throw over the top of this trap.
Barry Gannon from Joliet, Illinois, brings it out. A 3-guard offense. That's a charge on Whittenburg.
Tremendous athletic ability by Anders as he got over in front of him.
Dereck Whittenburg with his first personal foul. 5 team fouls now against North Carolina State.
NC State should be very aware of Drexler. When he drives to the basket, they should try to draw a foul on him. Whittenburg now playing young.
Here's Reed Geddes, second in the Southwest Conference this year in assists, averaging only 22 minutes a game.
Gary, they put Gannon over on Young. They've got Whittenburg playing his zone, so State very small from a rebounding standpoint.
Drexler to Anders. He walked with the ball. That basket will not count. He traveled. That's 6 turnovers now against Houston. Just a little too animated in his play right now. That's been his problem, Billy, is being under control. He has such athletic ability.
Here comes the trap again. You've got Geddes out there at about 6'4". Very difficult to throw over him.
Saved by Sidney Lowe. Lowe, the all-time assist man at NC State. Gannon to Bailey. Kind of spread it out a little bit now. Lowe by a team, and then he made a collision with Lowe and committed the foul.
After the shot. Gary, with the score 12-11, and Houston in that half-court trap. You'll see it right here. How far away Olajuwon was when he started and still got a piece of that ball. But there, NC State has got to throw the ball around and make Houston run a little bit.
That's what they were doing on that last sequence. Thurl Bailey over the top. And now North Carolina State by 3.
Bailey 6'11". Shot over Olajuwon that time. Kind of surprised him. He shot without the fake.
Bailey was 6 points, 9:16 to go. First half of play. Geddes into Olajuwon.
Solid move across the lane. He didn't use much of a fake there either, but just has a great move, pivoting either right or left.
That's his first field goal of the night. Thurl Bailey again. That's his shot, as you mentioned, Billy.
That's where he likes to shoot from, right down in the corner, and that'll be open against that 1-3-1 trap.
That takes it back to a 3-point lead for Jim Valvano, the ACC tournament champions.
Kind of surprised they don't go on Gannon.
Geddes, good outside shooter. Cuts it to 1. Geddes at 6'7", poses a problem for him outside. He can shoot over him.
Well, State will have to give up something in that defense.
Oh, off to Charles. Blocked by Akeem again, and he just nonchalantly pulls it to himself.
Akeem is still running up and down this court. He's not taking a breather yet. I'm surprised, as I said, they don't go against the smaller fellas. There's an example. Whittenburg and Drexler.
Drexler almost picked up his 4th foul.
Going to pull up for the jump shot.
8 minutes left to go, first half. Here's Gannon. He will not hesitate.
Great perimeter shooter.
He shot 59% in 3-point plays in the ACC this year.
Gary, one of the best things about him, he doesn't have to dribble the ball to get the momentum to go in the air. Now, State changes their defense. They're in a straight 2-3 defense now.
Into Anders. Intercepted by Gannon. Saved, and here comes Lowe. 2-on-1. But Akeem is trailing. And they walked to the ball, and I know they had to know Olajuwon was on their tail.
You're exactly right, Gary. He saw Thurl Bailey saw Olajuwon coming for the block, picked his eye up just a minute, and there's Thurl asking to come out of the ball game right now. But Olajuwon's tremendous hustle took the little bit of concentration away that was necessary to make that catch.
Now Anders and Drexler have checked out. Mishaw's back in. Michael Young is in. Alvin Franklin. There's Mishaw.
Thurl Bailey sat down. Kozar McQueen back in the game. West 2 fouls on him.
Both teams going to their bench at the 7:27 mark, and the way this altitude has been, it's going to pay off down the stretch.
Whittenburg now is stuck over to the side with Olajuwon. Now he can't possibly rebound against him if Houston shoots from the right-hand side of the court.
Alvin Franklin, who had 13 points, his high for the year in tournament play. There's a foul on Whittenburg, flying by. He got a piece of Young. That is now 16 fouls, the second foul on Whittenburg.
I think Jim Valvano right here is just trying to get a few minutes of play so he can rest his bigger people. There's a very small lineup on the court right now.
2 shots coming for Michael Young. We mentioned poor free throw shooting team is Houston. They were shooting 62% for the year. And Billy, against Louisville, they shot only 52% in the semifinal.
And Young has shown right there shooting about 67%. And he has a great release. He just doesn't seem to stay with the shot on the foul line.
So NC State with a 3-point lead. Jim Valvano having a conversation with Lowe.
What he's telling him, he's got the small ball club in the game, is to pull this game out. Go a little 4 corners, make Houston work a little bit. He wants to rest his big people on the bench.
6:50 left in the first half as they spread it out.
People are booing.
There is off the leg of Franklin. Gannon saved it. We're going to have a foul on Reed Geddes.
I think a wise coaching decision by Jim Valvano.
That's 16 fouls on them also.
Pull the ball out, make Houston chase on defense, gives his man a chance to rest. You've got Drexler out of the game, so you can't get any advantage on him anyway.
Thurl Bailey's coming back in. Charles will sit down. There he goes. So they're alternating the 2. They haven't had them in the same lineup very much in this tournament. They kind of had one or the other on the floor.
Houston back in the 2-3 zone. And Jim Valvano wanting his team to pull it out.
Ooh, almost
pass.
Too high as Young went for the intercept. Gannon, he's 2 for 2.
I think he surprised Geddes a little bit. Guy Lewis seemed to be very upset over there. He's calm, but a little bit nervous.
He trails by 5 with 6:18.
There again, you have Whittenburg down in the back line in that zone. He's just buried behind all those big fellas.
Michael Young has been a clutch performer all year long. Look at Franklin. He tries to follow over the top. 3-on-1. Geddes is back. McQueen, and that's a tough play to make, but he is fouled.
Now, there was an interesting thing right there. Olajuwon is kind of screaming at Young. Here they come down the court. Kozar McQueen does a good job keeping it on the floor and not walking. He gets fouled by Geddes. And here you have Drexler coming back in the game. Young going out.
David Rose is getting ready to come in for Houston, too. Geddes with his second personal foul, and he may replace Geddes. That's who he's going to replace. David Rose, who plays a savage-style defense. Geddes, make it a breather. 5:57 left in this first half.
Kozar McQueen only been to the foul line 31 times all year, but he is playing solidly in the Final Four.
You know what amazes me is how fluid he's been. He was a little mechanical earlier in the year, Billy. Now he's making some moves to the basket.
And he was only averaging 22, 23 minutes a game because he was getting in so much foul trouble.
He's only averaging 3.3 scoring-wise, and in this ball game, he's already above that. 22-15, biggest lead of the game. Into Akeem. Over Bailey.
Now, that's what Akeem was screaming about. On the back line is Whittenburg, matched up with Akeem Olajuwon. He can go right over the top of him, and he wanted the ball inside.
For a guy that's only played this game 4 years, he knows when to get the ball.
He's a very intelligent young man. He's talked about his parents the other day at the press conference, said they don't know anything about my basketball, just my education.
Nice pass off to Bailey. What an assist by Lowe. 24-17, 10 points for Thurl Bailey. Alvin Franklin, who started him off offensively in that semifinal game, has been shut down in this one. Here's Mishaw. Akeem.
Houston's doing a smart thing now. They realize Whittenburg's too small to play in that back line, and they're going right at him.
Akeem now with 10 points. 24-19. I think this game's surprising some people.
I think the tempo is surprising a lot of people, probably the Houston kids as much as anybody. They had to be reading the newspapers too.
They knew they had to play well. They couldn't just throw the ball on the floor, as that expression goes, and now they're in a battle. Out it comes to Lowe. 4.5 minutes left.
Give Franklin a lot of credit. He's really given Whittenburg his hands full.
Off to Bailey again. They'd love to kick it out to him in that wing area. This is the 3 guards they used against Georgia when they were protecting the lead, and they're doing a good job. Now Lowe has a step on him, but Rose was able to get a hand on the ball.
Lowe is a little bit too quick for Rose. He can go by him often. And he said to the ref, you should have called a foul, which he was probably right.
We're going to have a timeout. 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go. This is for the 1983 NCAA Championship. 24-19 NC State.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. You got the time, you got the beer for what you have in mind. So welcome to Miller Time.
The best beer for the best time of the day. Miller High Life.
State Farm agent Pam Johnson on life insurance.
The key in life insurance is listening to the policyholder and trying to determine what that policyholder needs. Now, when a policyholder comes in this office, they don't know that they need whole life or term insurance, but they do know what they want to protect. And so it's my responsibility to sit there and let them talk and listen to them, and then try to tailor our life insurance products to their needs.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A standing room only crowd. Better than 17,000 on hand for the championship of NCAA basketball. With 4:15 to go in the first half. The surprising North Carolina State Wolfpack leading Akeem Abdul-Olajuwon and the Cougars 24-19. Akeem already has 10 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks in this game.
He's an incredible young athlete. Gary, I look back to the last loss this Houston club had was against Virginia, and they said the reason they let down that night is they thought they were going to play against Ralph Sampson, and when they realized he wasn't going to play, they lost their concentration. That could have happened to them a little bit so far in the first half tonight. There's Drexler and Gannon.
Isn't that something? 6'7", Drexler out there shadowing a 6-foot guard, and he can get away with it.
Gannon may try one gamble to take Drexler and try to get him for a reach foul. Good backdoor.
Yes, it is. Whittenburg, though, had it batted away. Cozell McQueen saves to Bailey. Boy, Bailey is playing well. That's 12 points for him.
Beautiful touch by Thurl Bailey.
26-19, 3:40, and Houston hasn't trailed very much. In fact, the last game that they trailed, the Louisville game prior to that, was 11 games back to the TCU game. They have not trailed very often this year.
And State staying in that 2-3 zone.
David Rose, tipped by Mishaw. McQueen lost it. Mishaw.
And Gary, there's the point of the zone that's really got to have Jim Valvano worried. If they shoot the ball from the left-hand side of the court, Whittenburg is stuck over there against the Mishaws and the Olajuwons, and they're just rebounding over him.
There's 9 inches difference. 26-21, low. Rose chesting. Akeem with another block. Here is Gannon saving in the backcourt.
I think most people realize that was not backcourt because of the last touch by Houston.
Here's Whittenburg. Rebound, Mishaw. Comes out to Drexler. Watch this one now.
Draw the charge. Smart play.
That's 4 on him. Drexler has committed his 4th.
Smart play by Gannon. Now he did one thing there that might have got him in trouble. He grabs Drexler by the legs. Watch this right here. But he wasn't worried about anything other than getting the foul. See him right there? He goes for the tackle to make sure that there's a charge. A lot of fans didn't like the call, including Guy Lewis.
Now, Guy Lewis had one of his assistants run over to him and indicate he had 4 fouls, so they're aware of it. We were wondering if earlier they did, but they don't have him out of there yet.
State would be smart to pull the ball out and get it to Gannon.
There's Bailey again, 14 points for Bailey. It's a 7-point lead for NC State.
I think Houston be wise to take a timeout to get Drexler out of the game because you never can tell when he can pick up a cheap foul.
Benny Anders will come in at the first opportunity. 2:20 left in the first half. Drexler with 4 fouls. Mishaw. He threw it away. Saved nicely. Akeem is everywhere, isn't he? Bailey, boy, is he playing a game of a lifetime.
Everybody talked about him being a first-round draft choice, and he's showing it tonight.
Bailey has hit 5 field goals in a row. He has 14 points, and you saw that impressive rebound. Rose bouncing into McQueen. No whistle. Less than 2. You see the time left in the first half.
Here's a clear out for Whittenburg, but Franklin's giving him great man-to-man defense so far tonight.
Drexler with those 4 fouls, Billy. I'm surprised he's staying on him that tight. Look at the forward scoring. Bailey has 14 of those. Akeem, but wait a minute, goaltending.
Sidney Lowe can beat Rose anytime he wants to going down the middle. You'll see it right here. Now, Rose just can't stay with it. Lowe looks one way, puts it up the left hand. Now, let's see that. I believe the ball was still on the way up, but it's a tough call.
I might want to see that one again.
I think it was on the way up. Akeem is like Sampson and Patrick Ewing. They make blocks that you just don't believe they can get to, and sometimes it surprises even the official.
This is the biggest lead in the game for North Carolina State. They lead by 9. Drexler's out. Here's Anders, and now this time Gannon is called for the foul. That's 17 fouls. So they'll be shooting some free throws. Anders, who just checked in with a foul play, Drexler will go to the line.
Now you see they're going right to Whittenburg. Good pass by Akeem in there. That one looked like a charge to me. Gannon got there in time. A smart move by Guy Lewis to get Drexler out of the ballgame.
Drexler, he has got to be stunned to be sitting on the bench with 4 fouls and still a minute 24 left in the first half. Haley with yet another rebound.
121. I think Jim Valvano wants 1 shot the rest of the way. I don't know if his team saw him, but that's what he wants.
Whittenburg somehow gets the ball to Bailey, and Anders hammers him. Benny Anders commits the foul, sending Bailey to the free throw line.
I don't think Jim Valvano's club saw the signal, which was to get 1 shot. They put it up quickly.
And so Bailey will go to line. Jim Valvano, who has just been a joy down here. Everyone has been quoting him day after day. You saw the interview he had with Brent Musburger. He had tongue-in-cheek when he said he wouldn't shoot the shot until Tuesday. He's come out here and played at a faster tempo than most people thought they were capable of, especially against Houston.
Now, one thing for everybody to remember, Houston's an extremely explosive club, and they showed a great Louisville team that they can come back from behind, so I wouldn't in any way, shape, or form count them out.
Bailey gets 1 of the 2. A 10-point lead, the biggest lead. 1:09, first half to play.
And there again, Mishaw down there with Whittenburg behind him. Houston kind of ignoring him.
Alvin Franklin, funny-looking shot. Rose has the rebound. He got it to Anders. Anders again. What hustle. That's 3 points for Benny Anders, but give a lot of credit to Davis Rose. He just went flying through the air.
39 seconds to go.
Now Valvano wants him to circle out and kill the remaining time. Take the last shot.
Well, Rose is a hustler out here. He might not be quick enough for Lowe, but that's a foul.
Anders committing a personal foul. That's his second.
You got him, Benny. Benny didn't want that. He wanted to watch the replay. He's a good kid, too. Great athletic talent.
Well, he's a cousin of Willis Reed, Orlando Woolridge, who played at Notre Dame. So he comes from some fine stock, basketball-wise, as Whittenburg now, surprisingly, with only 2 points in this game. You wouldn't think they could lead like this without more scoring than that from Dereck.
Well, give Franklin a lot of credit. His man-to-man defense on Whittenburg has been outstanding.
And now we're going to have a substitution at the first opportunity.
It's going to be for the shooter, so Jim Valvano is keeping Ernie Myers on the sideline, hoping Whittenburg hits this shot so he can get him out of the game.
North Carolina State now is 6 of 7 from the free throw line. On the other hand, Houston's hit only half of theirs, 5 of 10. Here comes Ernie Myers. We didn't see him in the semifinal game. What a player he's going to be, a freshman out of the Bronx. So Whittenburg will sit down.
And Myers, as most people know, when Whittenburg was hurt this year, Myers was the guy that picked up all the scoring load.
Anders from outside. Instant offense for the Houston team. He has 5 now.
You're going to see 1 shot right here. Unless fouled, I doubt seriously if the NC State will put up any kind of
shot. Look at David Rose. Is he tough? He reaches in on low, and he's got a foul. Tackled him at the same time. Boy, Rose, he's a warrior out there. He's 25 years old. He went on a Mormon mission, and he plays with bad knees and all.
There's a great split of the double team by Sidney Lowe. He goes through. Now watch Rose going for the ball. That could have been a tough injury if Lowe wasn't in such good condition because he clipped him right on the knee.
You know, Guy Lewis didn't even think David Rose would play this year. He had so much trouble with the knee, but he has played hard, as evidenced by that play.
Well, a good move by Guy Lewis in this respect. He knows he can commit as many fouls as he wants. Here's that unusual foul shooting position by Lowe. Shoots across his body.
Rebound, Anders. They got to hurry. Anders going to get it underway in time. It would have counted. And so the surprising North Carolina State team leads the #1 ranked team in the country. 33-25, and now let's go to Brent Musburger.
All right, Gary, a shocking first half. Jim Valvano getting away with 3 guards much of the time. We're going to come back and continue our halftime after these messages from your local station.
Saturday, Stacy Keach is Mike Hammer, caught between 31 flavors of deadly double-dip delight.
I'm looking for my daughter.
Murder Me, Murder You, Saturday.
This is CBS.
Office productivity worldwide.
North Carolina State leads by 10 at halftime. It's only the 5th time this year that the Houston Cougars have trailed at halftime. Looking at the shooting statistics, Billy Packer, surprisingly low field goal percentage.
You know, I never would have dreamed that they were shooting under 40%. I realize there have been a lot of offensive rebounding, but I thought the Wolfpack was shooting better than that.
Well, one thing is shocking, too. North Carolina State to be leading by 8, and their starting guards have hit only 2 of 11 shots.
I think you can credit Franklin a great deal with the work on Whittenburg. I think, Gary, what we're going to see here in the second half is one of those situations where momentum becomes important, just like at every great championship event. Does the lead that NC State have put the pressure on them, or do Houston, figuring they were a cinch to win the national championship, have all the pressure?
Now, we have a real interesting lineup change. Drexler is not starting. Brian Williams is in there, and Anders is in there, starting at the forwards, and Anders starts them out.
What's also interesting is Guy Lewis kept his club in the dressing room till only 2 minutes were left to go on the clock for halftime. He's out pressing full court, man-to-man.
Alvin Franklin, Anders, Michael Young, Elijah Watt, and Brian Williams. Here's Whittenburg. Out to Cozell McQueen, and he threw it away.
Cozell tried to look one way and pass the other. He faked himself out.
This year, when Houston has trailed at halftime, in the 4 previous games, they've won 2 and have lost 2. One of those big wins was in the semifinal when they came from behind, trailing by 5 at halftime against Louisville.
Turnovers in the first half. NC State only had 4, so they start off in a bad shape there.
That's off of McQueen. Going to have a substitution, Reed Geddes, and you know why Reed Geddes is coming in? He is their designated inbounds passer.
And, of course, Franklin goes out on the first ball that's thrown out of bounds. He has an opportunity to go out. He's coming right back in the game, however. That's just a superstition on the part of Guy Lewis.
Geddes has pulled it off, and he has him set up offensively. We played 1 minute down the second half. Anders again, and a push-off inside is going to go on Brian Williams. Oh, Charles.
Lorenzo Charles, Williams in there. Good, powerful player. Here's Franklin coming right back in the ball game. And let's see who he was going to take out. Oh, because the ball's being taken out of the bounds.
They got to keep Geddes.
Oh, he's got to go in the game.
Yes, he does.
He has got to go in the game.
And Hank Nichols, the official, has figured that out, and he's going to bring him in now.
Yep, he must go in the game. Now, he wants to go in for Geddes. Geddes is the guy that throws the ball in bounds, so Franklin, obeying his coach, did not want to go in there, but he's been whistled in, he must go in.
So all that strategy goes out the window. This time, Alvin Franklin will bring it in, and does very alertly to Akeem.
State stays in the 2-3 zone. Now, they got a much bigger back line now that they only have 2 guards in the game.
Drexler on the bench with 4 fouls. Michon not starting the second half. Franklin. Brian Williams chases it down. Anders again.
Beautiful driving layup by Anders.
Boy, he has 4 points in the second half. 9 for the game. And now all of a sudden it's a 4-point game.
You talked about that momentum swing, and would you expect Houston to be able to do it with Drexler and Michon on the bench?
What do you think they'll bring Drexler back, time-wise?
I think they'll keep him out of there till about 14 on the clock.
And there's a reach-in foul. It's going to go on Brian Williams, I believe. That will be his first. North Carolina State will inbounds the ball. There's Williams. He is a senior. He's from Inglewood, California. Transfer out of El Camino Junior College. He's been an outstanding practice player.
And here we have the switch. Whittenburg being guarded by Anders.
There's Young.
Some turn of events here, Gary, in a hurry. Houston has a chance to pull within 2. State's defense is packed way back in there.
Elijah Wan, that was Charles. Charles got a piece of it. Young retrieved it. Everybody up on the board. Elijah Wan.
Elijah Wan got fouled on that first attempt. Shows what a patient inside player he is.
All of a sudden, it's 2 points now. A 2-point lead for NC State.
Jim Valvano going timeout.
You see the multiple shots and the difference in this game. And now Valvano and North Carolina State's got to regroup as Houston has come storming out of the dressing room. They cut what was an 8-point deficit down to 2 with 17:45 to go.
Well, moms and dads the world around give their kids the same old sound. Got to go to school, be a big success. They wouldn't settle for anything less. Now they've learned whatever you seek, you'll help yourself to reach your peak in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Need a trade? Looking for a skill? They have hundreds to fit the bill in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Want more school? Don't have the bread. They'll help pay to get you ahead. Talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Mom and dad, they'll want to shout. He's made it big. There's no doubt. Thanks, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Now get a financing rate breakthrough on new Chevrolets. Now 9.9% financing. New lower financing on Chevy Chevette. Lower on Chevy Citation. Lower on Chevy Cavalier. Lower on Chevy S10 pickups. But hurry, limited time only. See your participating Chevy dealer now. See just how low your monthly payments can be with new low 9.9% financing. Chevrolet is taking charge.
Gary Bender, Billy Packer. We played 2 minutes and 15 seconds of the second half, and Jim Valvano's Wolfpack haven't scored. They led by 8, now by 2.
Defensive pressure has done it for Houston. Jim Valvano had to get that timeout. Very similar situation as to what happened in the Louisville game. When Houston started making a run, coaches got to take the timeout to get it slowed down.
Ryan Williams still in the ball game, as is Anders. Lorenzo Charles challenges Young. Rebound, Akeem. That's his 13th of the game.
Jim Valvano wanting a foul. No foul called. Houston just beaten. There's a walk.
Elijah Wan with 14 points.
What's happening right now? Houston is really aggressively beating NC State to every pass and every rebound.
And now that's the second tie of the game. 33 all. The last time that Houston led was at the 15-15 mark of the first half.
State guards having a hard time shooting over Anders.
Boy, they're coming out on Bailey now, aren't they?
They really are. They're coming out playing aggressively on every shot.
Whittenburg gets up with Akeem.
And you see Akeem again beat Charles to the ball.
Alvin Franklin.
State players are getting very hesitant. We've seen a big momentum change, and State's playing real tight.
And North Carolina State still has not scored in this second half. They trail by 2.
Gary, I'll back up on Drexler coming back into the ball game now. As long as his team is playing well, Guy Lewis will stick with his club.
Sidney Lowe had to kick it out to Whittenburg. They need that shot. Remember, the guard shot only 2 of 11 from the field in the first half. Tied it up.
Been tremendous defensive by the part of the Houston guards tonight, Anders and Franklin particularly. And here's NC State. They've gone to a little man-to-man of their own now. They've gotten out of the zone.
Anders again. He's not bashful. Rebound inside by Cozell McQueen. Boy, he's coming out there with some intensity.
That's the first time State has really battled to the boards in the second half.
Lowe will take on Olajuwon and then thought better of it.
They might have been walking there a little bit.
He just changes the whole game in there. Whittenburg a long ways out. Rebound beautifully by Young. Here's Anders. He walked with that one.
Good defense by Sidney Lowe. Double dribble on Anders.
Too many steps. And now with the 15:32 mark appearing on the clock, North Carolina State will inbound.
We'll see it right here. Anders comes down. Right hand. He picked it up. Now he touches it with both hands, and he gets a double dribble call.
Baseline. Finds somehow was Whittenburg. He can't do that. Here comes 2-on-1.
Good pass.
Anders missed the stop. Lowe commits a foul.
I think he's going to call the basket good. Let's see. An undercut. A two-shot foul for an undercut. The basket will not count. I think the official thought it went in, but it will be a two-shot foul right here. Now Lowe goes under. Gets a piece of him. The official thought the ball went in because he kept his eye right on the players, not on the ball.
I didn't think he really did anything out of order, though, Lowe, in that particular situation.
Anders is hurting a little bit, but he does not want to come out of the ball game.
Anders with 9 points, 3 rebounds. He's hit 2 big baskets to get him started in the second half. 2 shots coming. And Houston has taken the lead for the first time since 15-15 of the first half. There's Drexler with 4. Mishaw, they're going to have to come back maybe later now as they're 2 guys of Anders and Brian Williams have done the job. Hakeem over Bailey.
Hakeem keeps it alive again.
Brian Williams hung up in the air, got it to Olajuwon. Look at Brian Williams. Out it comes again, and they're getting multiple shot after multiple shot.
Tremendous hustle by the Houston inside people. They're beating NC State to the ball time and time again.
Young. And that's a foul on Brian Williams, his second.
Jim Valvano screaming and jumping. He's wanting a little help from the officials. But that was a good call. Williams came over the back. His players are boxing out pretty well.
Billy, that last flurry is what you would expect to happen all the time. I'm surprised North Carolina State has hung in there as well as they have on the boards.
Now, what you're finding right now is that, you know, you get a lead, and you get a little nervous about having that lead. Can we hang on? And sometimes fellas take that lead positively. Other times they tighten up. So far for State, they have not been able to get into any offense here in the second half.
Houston by 1. 14:42 to play for the national championship.
Unfortunately for Jim Valvano's club, they got the lead by playing basketball, not by holding the ball. Therefore, they have a better chance of getting back in this game.
Look how far they're out on the floor now at Bailey. He'd have to take a 25-footer to get one off.
That's probably Guy Lewis is thinking. Williams going out and playing him tough.
Here's Lorenzo Charles, and Williams reaches in, and he's committed his third.
But that doesn't hurt Houston that badly, Gary, because Guy Lewis can use this deep bench to his advantage. They'll kind of wear down the State players. He doesn't concern himself whether Williams would foul out or not, because he can come back with Mishaw, and there's the reach.
That is what Guy Lewis has been able to do, is come in with the bench, asking for rebounds, defense, points. He has a real diversified bench. They call themselves a cavalry. Here comes part of that bench. Get us in, and Anders, who did a good job lead.
Well, you got to remember the Houston club was undefeated in the Southwest Conference play. They beat their opponents by an average of 21 a game.
Rejected by Hakeem. Valvano wants goaltending. He's screaming for goaltending.
Great timing by Olajuwon.
Oh, is Jim upset? He's still standing and wanting the call. Michael Young into Olajuwon. He's going to put it up.
What a soft touch.
Unstoppable. 16.
It's really incredible to watch his progress game after game.
16 points, 15 rebounds, and I think he has 6 block shots. That's not bad. 7. Here's Lowe. Dennis with a rebound. Houston with a 38-35 lead. Still, North Carolina State has scored only 2 points in the second half with 13 and a half minutes left.
State's getting 1 shot and done. Houston's getting as many shots as they need.
There shows you what's happened to North Carolina State. The 1 field goal. They're only 2 points in the second half.
Good job by Bailey coming out on Geddes. Ozell McQueen trying to push Olajuwon inside.
Michael Young. 40-35. Remember, they trail by 8 at half, now lead by 5.
Another timeout coming up for Valvano.
And he is still complaining, Billy, about that goaltending. Look at him.
But I think it was such a good block. It just surprised Jim Valvano.
Well, as you said many times, he might be working the officials a little bit. He's upset. Brian Williams looks like he's in pain.
What does the General Motors mark of excellence mean to you? It means the latest techniques in computers, lasers, robotics, and aerodynamics. It means smarter, sleeker, more exciting cars, and the industry's most advanced safety-related research. At GM, excellence isn't just a quality. It's a commitment to always be better and better. We're living up to our commitment. Right now, today, we're the best GM ever.
Some things speak for themselves.
Saturday, Stacy Keach is Mike Hammer, caught between 31 flavors of deadly double-dip delight.
I'm looking for my daughter.
Murder Me, Murder You, Saturday.
Houston leads by 5, and Billy, the shot chart really interesting.
Well, it tells the story. Houston scoring not only from Young on the side, Elijah Wan in the middle. You go down on the other end, you talk about the Lone Ranger. Here's NC State's only field goal, Whittenburg from the deep outside.
In this second half, Houston has outscored North Carolina State 15-2 and out-rebounded them 12-2. They are dominating.
And most of those on the offensive boards. Guy Lewis stays with that lineup that started that second half. Get us out there. Williams still out there.
That's what I started to say. All this occurring without Drexler and Nishaw. Is that depth? Here's Bailey. He's been shut down in the second half. Continues to be. Hakeem with another rebound.
Elijah Wan altered Bailey's shot and then right back up there in the rebound. State gets one shot and that's it.
Houston could win this. It would be an all-time number of victories in a season for him. That's deflected out of bounds.
What I think is also interesting, all those great teams with Elvin Hayes, you assume they were in the championship, but they never got to the championship game.
And that is absolutely domination.
Remember in the Louisville game, they out-rebounded Houston by 10 in the first half, and then Houston just dominated them.
Well, they out-rebounded in the second half 30-15. Hakeem again. Rebound Charles. That's one of the few he's missed in this game.
Now let's see if Jim Valvano's timeout was able to slow his team down and get him in an offense.
They got to get Bailey back in the offense. He had 15 points in the first half, and he hasn't scored here in the second.
I think what they've got to do is set some solid screens for Whittenburg. He's been able to take men one-on-one throughout this tournament, but Franklin's been staying right with him in this game. Whittenburg can't shake him.
Boy, he's tough on him, and he
really is. Whittenburg just cannot shake him. Now here he is on the clear-out. Throughout this entire tournament, he's been able to beat his man one-on-one.
You know, Franklin shut down Stuart Granger of Villanova, you might recall, in that championship game in the Midwest.
Whittenburg goes long back door, but gets caught in the double team.
Cozell McQueen.
Oh, Elijah Wan again. He guarded McQueen and still got back to the rebound.
17 rebounds for Elijah Wan. 5-point lead for the top-ranked team in the country.
Guy Lewis says that he wants to give a medal to that soccer coach in Nigeria that told Elijah Wan he couldn't play soccer. He'd have to get off the team. And that's what started him on basketball.
Look at Bailey now coming way out on Geddes. Here's Franklin. He might be the unsung hero of this ball club, the way he shut down the guards outside. Elijah Wan. McQueen got a piece of it. Saved it in. Nice play.
Nice play is right.
Last field goal for North Carolina State in the second half was at the 16-14 mark, Billy. And we have less than 11 to play in the game.
Elijah Wan let McQueen get the ball that time.
Michael Young comes down with it. It's amazing. North Carolina State has scored only 2 points in the second half.
Gary, Elijah Wan's exhausted right now. He needs a breather. He's bending over at the foul line just trying to get his rest. And Guy Lewis is pulling the ball out so Elijah Wan can rest.
I'll tell you another guy is Brian Williams. He's exhausted too.
Well, this is a smart move by Guy Lewis, taking up a little time.
There's Franklin. Off to Elijah Wan. He's fouled by McQueen. That is That's the third foul on Cozell McLean.
Here comes Drexler back in the ball game. Guy Lewis kept him out of there for almost 10 minutes.
So Clyde comes in, and he has played with 4 fouls on many occasions this year, Billy, and has been able to stay all the way. And coming out is Williams. Williams was exhausted. Elijah is going to stay in there, evidently. He hits the free throw.
He is really tired, though.
41-35, 17 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 blocks. Is that something? With 21 points and 22 rebounds in the semifinal game.
Well, centers have always been the story of this Final Four. I can remember the great play of Paul Hogue at Cincinnati when they beat Jerry Lucas's great clubs. And you go back a long time. Bob Curlin, the centers have always been important in his game.
Whittenburg creating something. McLean can't capitalize on it. Saves it off of Michael Young. It'll be North Carolina State's ball. Nice heads-up play by McQueen.
Some defensive sequence for Olajuwon again. He stopped the drive inside and got over on his man. Now watch this. He comes over to stop the drive on Whittenburg, hits the floor, bounces right back over, and alters McQueen's shot without a foul.
And Akeem is coming out of the game. He's been replaced by Misha. Here's Whittenburg, and they have missed 9 shots in a row. 9 misses in a row. They're 1 of 11 in the second half.
Now let's see what happens here. I think Houston will spread the ball out so that they can use up some clock while Olajuwon gets his breath. Here they are. They're spreading it out. They're not using a center. Olajuwon will get a rest. They put Mishaw in the middle and make State chase him for a minute or two. Looking for a layup if it's there.
9 minutes, 35 seconds left in this championship game.
State playing with 3 guards.
Misha saw Young on the baseline. Now to Geddes.
In high school, Mishaw's team at Worthing played against the Matha. Mishaw playing for Worthing, as I said. Lowe and Whittenburg playing for the Matha, and they beat them in a 5-overtime game.
That's the 10th turnover now against Houston. Whittenburg needs one. And that's only the 2nd field goal of the second half, both of them by Whittenburg. That might ignite him. 42-37, less than 9 minutes to go.
Here's that spread. Smart move by Guy Lewis. Use up a little time on the clock. Let Olajuwon get his breath. He's over there with oxygen on. Trying to get his breath.
Whittenburg trying to stay on Young. He throws it away and saved by Franklin.
Too much speed for Gannon.
Nice pass to Geddes.
Beautiful backdoor cut. There's Olajuwon trying to get his breath.
Geddes with 4 points. North Carolina State now starting to worry a little bit about the time. 8:16 left in the game.
They also have to worry about getting into some kind of offense. This Houston man-to-man defense has been amazing for guys their size.
Bailey just hasn't been a factor in the second half. He carried him in the first half.
He's got Drexler on him. Be a good move for State to make sure Bailey touches the ball in this sequence. Whittenburg kind of frustrated with Franklin.
That's a tough shot.
You can't get that off.
McQueen saved it. Whittenburg again. He's got all 3 field goals in the second half.
That wasn't really Franklin's fault because he went out there on the long jumper and fortunately the ball came back.
A turnover. Low to Gannon. He's fouled by Geddes. That's 3 on Reed Geddes. 14 foul against Houston.
Very smart play by Sidney Lowe to come back and intercept that ball. You can see the Houston kids kind of relaxed. Sidney Lowe came right back for the steal. Just a little lack of concentration. And there's the foul by Geddes.
Guy Lewis calls timeout. The Houston Cougars now have 3 left. NC State also with 3 timeouts left. 7:38 to play. Valvano's team down by 5.
5 years ago, it was just an idea to create a new breed of copiers with the stamina to run and run and run, that could anticipate the unexpected, adapt to changing conditions, and have the intelligence to constantly monitor itself. Introducing the Xerox 1075 and 1035, the first of the marathon copiers. From Xerox.
We We are USA One, taking charge with tough, easy-to-own transportation like Chevy Chevette. While Ford's base Escort suggested retail price went up, the lowest price Chevy Chevette held the line. In fact, this two-door Chevette is priced over $600 less than Escort L two-door. And Chevette has millions more owner-driven miles behind it. Chevy Chevette, from America's sales leader. Now, get new low 9.9% financing on new Chevettes. Hurry, see your participating Chevy dealer now.
There's a very special feeling I have here at Augusta, a tradition, unlike any other, the Masters on CBS Sports.
Well, the Wolfpack has a ravenous appetite, but they're going to have to get going here. They trail 44-39. Akeem Abdul-Elijah coming back in. Benny Anderson. There's the elevation here at Albuquerque, 5,200 feet. And throughout this semifinal and national game, you could see how laboring they have been, trying to catch their breath using the oxygen.
Well, you can also see how wisely Guy Lewis is using his bench. Now he's got Rose out there. He got Geddes to chase. He had Franklin to chase. So the NC State guards have got to be wearing down, and Guy Lewis keeps coming in with fresh men.
Here's an excellent free throw shooter missing. 91% on the year for Gannon. Guy Lewis must think everything's going his way, because Gannon this year one time hit 30 in a row.
Rose was in the lane a little early. Makes no difference.
It's a 4-point game with 7:38 to go. Drexler with 4 fouls.
And a little spread offense going right here. Houston's got a lot in their arsenal.
North Carolina State has not scored in their front line. It's been all Whittenburg in the second half. Elijah out to Drexler.
Shows how smart he is as a player. Instead of trying to force it up, he gets the ball back out.
Whittenburg almost had the steal, saved by Geddes. Drexler, Anders, broken up by Gannon.
And it hit off Anders' leg.
And is he complaining that one?
He doesn't want to get a technical right here, but that was quite a call and quite a play by Gannon. You see it right here. Watch this pass by Drexler on the dish. Anders comes through, makes a jump stop. There's Gannon, hit right off Anders' knee.
They have a chance to cut it to 2. We have a foul on David Rose going after Whittenburg. That's his second. 15 fouls, so 2 more, and they'll be shooting some free throws. Boy, David Rose comes in, and he looks like he's mad at somebody the way he plays defense.
But that's all right. He occupies up the offensive man and keeps Whittenburg under pressure with a fresh man all the time, and it's tough to shoot when a guy's that aggressive.
Again, Bailey has not scored in the second half, nor has the entire front line for North Carolina State with 6:46 remaining.
And Bailey has Drexler on him. They ought to go to him a little bit.
There he is. Rejected. Akeem. That's off of Akeem. That might be one reason he hadn't scored.
Well, one of the reasons that Akeem blocks so many shots also is that there are tough defensive players guarding the offensive end, so he's there waiting on them after they get by him.
That's his 8th block. He had 8 blocks in the semifinal. He had 8 blocks in the championship game of the Midwest as Alvin Franklin returns to the lineup. David Rose goes out. Again, North Carolina State with a chance now to whittle it down to 2.
Houston playing a 2-3 zone. Drexler being very aggressive on Bailey.
Lowe from outside, and they needed that one, and it's a 2-point game. Sidney Lowe, 4 points in the game.
Now, State would really have to suck it up here, Gary, as far as exhaustion is concerned, because they haven't had the fresh players in the ball game as has Houston.
Alvin Franklin, Gannon, shoulder to shoulder with him. Little collision en route to the basket. Here's Drexler. Look how he handles the ball.
And they're really making it tough on State because they're making him chase.
5:56 left in the game. Houston by 2.
You hold the ball like this and you lose a little momentum yourself. Now what they're trying to do is draw State out far enough that Elijah want to be one-on-one inside.
You see the time, the lower right-hand portion of the screen.
Well, Guy Lewis telling his team to take the club back out farther. I'm surprised he's not keeping the pressure on State.
Franklin hits it. Franklin who averaged 27 points a game in high school. He has 4 tonight, and it's back to a 4-point lead for the Cougars.
Franklin has accepted that role of being a point leader as opposed to a shooting guard, which he was in high school.
Terry Gannon. That's a tough shot because Anders went flying by in front of him. Terry Gannon has 7 points.
And point out the fact that those would be three-pointers in the ACC, and that's where NC State took such great advantage of that rule when they played in conference.
Boy, Drexler has been quieted down that foul difficulty as Gannon commits a foul on Alvin Franklin. That's his second personal foul, 4 team fouls against NC State.
Now that was called by Jim Valvano. Now why he wants to call the fouls is he wants to make sure that he's got Houston in the 1-and-1 because they are not a good free throw shooting team, rather than letting them run time off the clock.
And maybe the only weakness of this club is free throw shooting.
And Gannon could waste the foul.
4:42. Not a lot of time for that to happen, however. Only 4 team fouls. Elijah on 20 points.
Can't say much more. He's making jumpers, blocking shots, grabbing rebounds.
That's the 4th game, Billy. He scored 20 points. 4 in a row. 17 rebounds to go, and Gannon again. Geddes with a rebound.
That was a little too far out, and again, State is not putting any pressure on Drexler by getting the ball to Bailey.
Here comes Franklin. Gannon commits the foul. So that's 5 team fouls. Again, the front line scoring, we pointed out, Bailey has not scored after scoring 15 in the first half.
And now another freshman comes in Young as Benny Anders sits down.
That was Gannon's 3rd foul. So Geddes, Drexler, Franklin, Young, and Elijah in now for Guy Lewis.
Now let's see if Jim Valvano goes to foul again.
We now have 4 minutes left in this game. Young against McQueen. He's got the basket and the foul.
That's not the foul Jim Valvano wanted, but Young is so tough on the baseline.
That's 4 fouls on the 6'11" sophomore center.
Watch Young on this baseline. He shoots from down on the baseline as well as anybody in the collegiate game. Puts it right up. McQueen gets a piece of him. The shot goes anyway.
He's really a forward playing a guard spot for this Houston team. He loves to go inside. Here he is with 6 points. Rebound McQueen with 4 fouls. He's still aggressive. There's not a lot of time left now. 3:53. Here was Drexler again.
You just don't get that pass against this team.
And now coming in will be Lorenzo Charles for NC State. Gannon is going to exit, so they're going to go to 2 guards now.
And what we have to think about for NC State are calling some timeouts if they score. They've got to get this clock stopped.
Both teams have 3 timeouts left, and now North Carolina State has 2. So the Wolfpack trailing 50-44 with 3:43. Remember, they led by 8 at halftime.
Well, we saw another Houston blitz. 21-1 was that Louisville blitz. And tonight, in kind of a different style with different makeup of their ball club, they put the blitz on NC State.
Billy, I said at half, there's been very few teams that a forward has been effective against Houston. Now, they had that in the first half. Bailey came in. He had 15 points and 5 rebounds. All intents and purposes, he's disappeared, and you see what's happened to that lead.
Well, I really don't think it's been all Phil Bailey's fault in this respect, Gary. He has not touched the ball much in the second half, and he was played by Drexler here recently, who's got 4 fouls on him. State's going to have to get the ball to Phil Bailey and see if he can get in the offense.
I think you don't blame Bailey. You just give Houston all the credit in the world.
You've got to.
So at 3:43, we have some excitement here. They feel they're a team of destiny. They've come from behind so many times. They've been called the cardiac kids. They won 5 come from behind games in a row to get to the final 16. They got to do it again.
They better be careful here. Nobody guarding the inbounds passer. Queen wisely comes back.
In the second half, North Carolina State shooting 26%. Houston 50.
That's a little far for Sidney Lowe, but he hits it anyway.
That's 2 in a row he's been able to hit now. Cut it back to 4. 6 points for Sidney Lowe.
Young very good with the ball in the open court area.
Everyone can handle the ball, and that's Bailey fouling Drexler. His first and 17 fouls. So now we'll see, as you were pointing out, Billy, if Houston can do the job at the free throw line.
Good strategy by NC State. You want to try to take advantage of the other team's weakness.
They did against Memphis State. They hit 16 of 20 in that first round game of the Midwest Regional, and Drexler has 3 points as he hits his first. But they only shot 52% Saturday against Louisville.
Drexler, a pretty good judge of talent, too. He said he voted for another player to be the MVP of the Southwest Conference, and that other player, of course, Darrell Walker, came right through and won the MVP yesterday in the East-West game.
Houston now 10 of 16 from the free throw line, and Lowe is hot. He's got the hot hand. They may have to go to him. 8 points. 52-48. 2:58 left in the game, and they're all over Young, and he's fouled.
Jim Valvano's going to turn it into a foul shooting contest the rest of the way.
And Lorenzo Charles is guilty of the foul. That will be his second. Now let's check statistically on this ball club. The best free throw shooter is Drexler. We just saw him a while ago convert 2. He's shooting 74%. Young 67. Elijah Wanza-Porras along with Misha. They both shoot 59%.
Well, you can't be too particular now, Gary, as to who you foul. You just got to stop that clock and put them on the line.
Michael Young 0 for 3 from the line, 0 for 4. And now a chance to cut it to 2. NC State.
Sidney Lowe has been shooting from farther out than you'd anticipate. Let's see if they try to get that ball to Thurl Bailey some.
Whittenburg has been shut down by Franklin, working hard. He challenges it. Keem, and he didn't get it done. And they throw it away. Lowe's got it. They've got another crack at it.
You have Whittenburg wide open in the corner.
Oh, and it's a 2-point game.
That's where the friendship and teamwork that's taken place by Lowe and Whittenburg, they just know where each other are on the floor at all times.
Now Valvano's saying, get back defensively.
Well, he's got Bailey in the position to be able to foul.
Here's Keem again. Tipped out. That was McQueen who got a hand on it. Here comes Lowe. Lowe. Whittenburg. He can tie it up. And with 1:54, it's deadlock.
Now let's see what the strategy becomes. Whether NC State wants to go back in the zone and get a little rest here. They're back in the zone. Some comeback on the part of both these teams in the second half.
You see the time left. Guy Lewis up. He's trying to orchestrate it. He's going to try to get Franklin outside to handle the ball.
Jim Valvano, I'm sure he's going to foul. Put somebody on that line.
He's trying to pick out the guy to foul. Here he is. They get it to Franklin. They're going to foul it. Nope, they didn't get there in time.
Whittenburg's going to have to stay out a little bit further in order to get there. You don't want to foul Geddes. Let's see if he gets it now. There it is.
Yep.
And you see how smart he was, Gary. He went for the ball instead of just going out there for the grab and picking up the 2 shot.
Now, Franklin's a 63% free throw shooter. But he's a freshman, and I'm sure Valvano's taking that in accord as he will send him to the line with 1:05. Whittenburg with his 3rd foul. 4 points for Franklin. His first time at the line tonight.
Nice piece of coaching by Jim Valvano. Really instructed his players, and they responded.
Boy, you saw the tension Guy Lewis had.
He's got to block out on these foul shots.
And they did. McQueen almost took it away and lost it. Bailey and McQueen were fighting over it.
All right, Jim Valvano has 2 timeouts left. He's got to be very, very careful not to use one too early.
We come down now, as you see, to 48 seconds. 52 all. This is for the national championship. Timeout. North Carolina State has 1 remaining. Well, this has been something. One than the other, surging. They're all even. 44 seconds to decide the issue.
When you stay at a big, fancy hotel, you pay for a lot more than your room. You don't need a fancy hotel to get a big, comfortable room. You can get one at Howard Johnson's, along with a big bathroom, an oversized bed, and even some special care in our executive section, all at a sensible price. At Howard Johnson's, we don't care about the fanfare. We care about the things that count most.
We are Chevrolet. Why has Chevy Citation outsold all front-wheel drives over the last 3 years combined? You're looking at it. Hatchback versatility with 20 cubic feet of wagon-like convenience. Comfortable room for 5 people. An electronic fuel-injected standard engine with better mileage estimates than 41 smaller cars. Now, get new low 9.9% financing on new Citations. Hurry, see your participating Chevy dealer now.
North Carolina State, they led by 8 at halftime, and then they found themselves in a catch-up posture. They've tied it up. All 19 points, Billy, that they have scored this half have been from the guards.
Well, let's think of what you're going to do right now. They've got one more timeout left. They might take it down till they get it to 18 or 16 seconds. You're going to have a man-to-man pressure by Houston. It looks like Akeem on Bailey. Who is Drexler guarding?
Drexler's staying inside. Looks like he might be on Charles. Oh, dangerous pass.
No, it's the half-court trap that Houston's using. Now, Jim Valvano might not have anticipated this, so he probably called that timeout if a player gets in trouble.
He has these 3 guards in there now as Gannon's in there with Whittenburg and Lowe.
Down to 25 seconds. Dangerous pass.
This is a really interesting strategy by Houston. They're aggressive now, not staying back.
Well, remember they have Akeem in there to block anything that goes inside. Down to 14 seconds.
Oh, almost stolen by Drexler. Boy, is he good at that.
They've got to drive to the basket. It's down to 7 seconds.
You can see the time. Whittenburg. Oh, that's a long ways.
They won it. On the dunk.
Charles with the follow. He won it, and these are the first 2 points of the second half by anybody on the front line for North Carolina State. Whittenburg, this is from 30 feet out. Watch Charles. And with 2 seconds, the kid was able to put it in, and the team of destiny, the Cardiac Kids, North Carolina State, has captured their second NCAA championship to go with 1974's title. 54-52. Have you ever seen more emotion than at the end of this game? And now, let's go to Brent Musburger.
What an ending. The Cardiac Kids have done it. They have won the national championship. They came in here an 8-point underdog. They were outscored 15-2 to start the second half. And yet Jim Valvano and this team would not quit. And in the final analysis, it was the coaching and the strategy that turned this game around when they sent Houston to the free throw line, and the Cougars could not nail down the free throws. And the most valuable player for the winning North Carolina State team is their brilliant guard, Dereck Whittenburg, who brought them back repeatedly in the second half. And for Houston, how can you overlook Olajuwon. And Chevrolet now will give a check for $1,000 to be shared equally by these two great schools. And we will continue here on CBS in just a moment.
Sat down with Mom, talked to Dad. Can't get it together, makes you feel sad. You know you can do it, you wonder where. You want it soon because you really care. The services can help you so you not only get better, you really grow. Talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. They'll take you, train you, show you the way. You'll work hard, get decent pay in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Prove you can make it. Prove it to all. Serving your country and walking tall in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You've got it together. They'll see in a glance. Thanks to the services, you got the chance in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Holography. IBM is using it to speed you through supermarket lines. Inside this box is the innovative IBM checkout scanner. It uses holography to send out light beams that wrap around almost any package to quickly locate and read the barcode. The code identifies the product to a computer, which has the store's current price list. Holography. Another way IBM puts technology to work for you.
Fabric business is like any other small business today. If you can't keep costs down, who knows? Could be curtains.
Allstate update. Business insurance now custom made.
My Allstate agent for home and auto insurance just saved me money right here. Those good hands tailor the policy for just the coverage this business needs. Nothing more. Why settle for some ready-made when you can save with custom fit? You're in good hands with Allstate.
Jim Valvano, it was drama that no one will ever forget. Your emotions.
Brent, our kids have never, you know, I know it's a cliche, but we've never quit in a game down the stretch all year long. And I knew we wouldn't today. We just couldn't get any offense generated, so the ball would not go in. But we felt that we talk all year about being in a position to win. If you're in a position to win, you have a shot at win. And that's all we wanted. Under 4 minutes, we felt we put ourselves in a position to win by putting them on the foul line.
Jim, I want to show that last dramatic winning basket. Were you surprised at the half-court pressure they put on you?
Well, we anticipated more of a man-to-man pressure. In his zone situation, we wanted, you know, Sidney to make a move to the basket. Or Dereck just didn't know how much time was left there, and he took a prayer. Lorenzo Charles, who I had told him had not played up to his level, he came in and he made the biggest shot of his life, no question about it.
And there is the happiest man in America about to celebrate what, in my opinion, will go down as one of the greatest coaching jobs in the history of this tournament. Jim, you had to tell him, go foul him. You had to send him to the line. That was your order.
Oh, no question. We play to win the game. We don't want anybody to beat us by us sitting back. We're going to play. You have to do good things to beat us. We believe in putting people on the line. We'd have put them on the line 8, 9 times in a row.
Congratulations, Jim. We want to
go cut
some of your players. Cut that net down. We'll continue on CBS in just a moment.
Now get a financing rate breakthrough on new Chevrolets. Now 9.9% financing. New lower financing on Chevy Chevette. Lower on Chevy Citation. Lower on Chevy Cavalier. Lower on Chevy S10 pickups. But hurry, limited time only. See your participating Chevy dealer now. See just how low your monthly payments can be with new low 9.9% financing. Chevrolet is taking charge.
Beatico Creek, Louisiana, and Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Beatico Creek means bass, fat and tasty. And Milwaukee means beer, cold, crisp, old Milwaukee beer, and the smooth golden light taste of old Milwaukee Light.
Old Milwaukee.
And old Milwaukee Light.
Taste as great as their name.
Let me tell you, it doesn't get any better than this.
Every morning, whether I'm here in Latrobe or on the road, I'm out there making sure all the parts are working. Nobody has to sell me on keeping in shape. I guess that's why I've always been sold on Pennzoil protection. Pennzoil helps keep the equipment in shape. And believe me, I'm a guy who believes in taking care of the old equipment.
Pennzoil, quality protection. Ask for it.
North Carolina State, the NCAA champions, the 3 seniors from Washington, D.C., Whittenburg, Lowe, and Bailey. Gary, Billy was kidding you. That was a nice pass at the end of the game.
It was a great pass. That play was designed for Lorenzo Charles. I told him to be ready for it.
I was surprised you even reached it on that shot.
Well, I usually practice that shot, but it came a little short this time, but that's the way we designed the play.
Thorough. Great job by your coach tonight when you were in a situation. He knew you had to make a comeback, and he told you guys to throw some balls on Houston.
That's true, Billy. Before I answer, I'd just like to thank God for giving us the opportunity to be here and play as well as we did, because without him on our side, when everything was against us, we'd never be here. And about what you said, Coach, you know, I had no fouls, and I had some fouls to give up. So, you know, we've been doing that all year. We've been fouling people, and they've been missing the shots at the crucial times. So, you know, we just did that today, and it just worked for us.
No longer the cardiac kids, Sidney.
No longer. We're the national champions
You
now.
really are. Let's go now to Brett Musburger.
Words do not describe the drama that has just unfolded. We will let the pictures do the job. The directors, Bob Fishman and all the others. The producers, Rick Sharp, who did such a magnificent job of covering the road to Albuquerque.
I know what's on your mind, and I know it gets tough sometimes. You can give it one more try, find a reason why you should pick it up. Ooh, try it again. 'Cause it's alright, think we're gonna make it. Think it might just work out this time. It's alright, think we're gonna make it. Think it might work out fine this time. It's alright, think we're gonna make it. Think it might just work out. 'Cause it's not too late for that, too late for me. I know I've been hurt before, and I know I really shouldn't give any more. But this time things seem just a little different. And when I look in your eyes, you know I can see that it's true. And I hear you say it's alright, think we're gonna make it. Think it might just work out this time. Alright, think we're gonna make it. Think it might work out fine this time. It's alright, think we're gonna make it. Think it might just work out. 'Cause it's not too late for this, too late for love. Just when you feel helpless, nothing left to say, love will find us, the past behind us, then we're on our way. Ooh, yeah. Time and time again I see people so unsure like me. We all know it gets hard sometimes. You can give it one more try, find another reason why you should pick it up. Ooh, why you should pick it up. And try it again. 'Cause it's alright, I think we're gonna make it. Think it might just work out this time. It's alright, think we're gonna make it. Think it might work out fine this time. It's alright, I think we're gonna make it. Think it might just work out this time.
United Airlines,
First in the world with a remarkable 767. If you had a favorite airplane, this one is going to take its place.
This is CBS.